Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, we are live. My name is Dr. Sharnael Wolverton Sihan. Welcome to The Truth Matters. We are so excited to have Laura back with us today. And we're going to talk about a lot of different things, not just about the fall and not just the zombie apocalypse,
Apocalypse.
but also just like what's coming and what Laura feels like she has seen coming. She's looked into astrology and some other things, and kind of been out there listening and got her ears to the ground on what's going on. So, welcome to the show, Laura. How are you?
Doing pretty good. How are you guys doing?
Awesome. How's it going,
Good.
Craig? Welcome
Yeah,
to you
really
too.
good. Thanks.
Yay, 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 yay. Well, before we get started, I just want to remind everybody you can go to drsharnel.com, get on the newsletter, find out what's coming up, what's been going on in the past, different online courses, books, resources, all the shows that are coming up in the podcast previously. Great time to get on the newsletter, lots going on. And I have a campaign that we're starting in November that I think you guys might be interested called Fix Your Shit. And so I'm really excited about that. I'm going to be giving details about that today. And yeah, so be on the lookout for that too. But anyway, let's talk about Equinox and zombies and 5G and whatever's all the things.
Yeah. Well, the equinox is come and gone. It was on September 23rd. And yeah, I mean, now we're moving into eclipse season. So, that's always the equalizing energy of the equinox. I mean, I feel with the North Node being in Aries and the South Node being in Libra, this is the massive growth period that humanity is like up against. And the eclipse season is going to accentuate that because the eclipses are based in its conjunction with the nodes. And then Mars being in Libra, which is the ruler of Aries. So when we look at equinox and integration of polarity or balance, there's a huge emphasis on the nodes. And they shifted from, well, they've been shifting a lot, but it was the Sagittarian South Node. No, actually, it was the Taurus North Node, the South Node, Scorpio, which shifted into Aries Libra. So what that means is the growth period for humanity is reflecting upon, do we have internal balance? Are we in that like higher level of Libra energy? Are we ready to stand in our I am creator self, reflecting on a sense of balance? Or do we still have a ways to go as far as, do we overly people please? Do we give too much without getting enough in return? Are we making it all about others and not ourselves? So when we do make it about ourselves, we obviously still want to be in service to others. So that integration of polarity where the Aries Mars is well integrated with the Libra, we're here on a soul level to integrate polarity. So the nodes show that within our own chart and with the transits currently happening. But we are going to be dealing with a Pluto square Mars come Sunday before the eclipse time. And that can be a very violent and very aggressive combo. So it's just important to kind of breathe through all this. I don't know. I'll kind of stop there. But if anybody knows about those two aspects, squared aspects mean friction, tension, and Pluto square Mars. Yeah, that's pretty volatile. So if we're seeking balance, if we notice that something's not in balance within ourselves, we might need to let the volcano blow a bit, but hopefully not harming anybody in the process. Because sometimes the pressure just builds and something just needs to be expressed or released in order for us to have balance instead of internalizing everything. And I think enough of the triggers with the zombie apocalypse, I think, is really building the tension in people, maybe getting really sick of being assaulted or being warned about these sort of events while we're also, dealing with massive upgrades. So, I mean, there's such a frequency showdown of forces, if you guys know what I mean. So what are your thoughts?
Things are going to look brilliant by the sounds of things.
What did you say?
Things are going to be brilliant by the sounds of things. I just think with relation to the zombie apocalypse or the EBS test, I think again that highlighted where a lot of people are at, in that they are first and foremost, and believe me, I'm not criticizing this because I've been there myself. I would love nothing more than for President 45 to come on our screens and tell us everything, just disclose everything. I would love it. I'd love nothing more than that. However, I do feel that we consistently are giving our power away to external things. And if there's a message right now, it's the inner work, it's getting the heart center, it's don't be moved, good or bad, by anything that's outside of you. Be consistent within. And I think it just highlighted with many that there is still an element of fear there. That I know there's a cabal, I know that there's negative things going on. It's not good. I get angry at things that I see as well. Just to pull back a minute and just be like, hang on, where we are in the greater cosmic scheme and everything that we know that is going on, we are in an amazing time here. And it's a great time of advancement and growth. And growth by nature is often painful. It's often difficult and uncomfortable, but grow we must. I just wonder what anyone else thinks at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about growth. I mean, if it's all about frequency, we are the ultimate higher technology as far as frequency. We have choices in our perception and the way we're going to view reality. So if we have that choice, we can, raise the vibration into love and neutrality, wisdom. We don't have to sink down into fear, regardless of how aware we are or not aware. They're trying to stimulate that vibration and energy and divide and conquer and all these lower energies that dark technology can only link into if the vibration is at a certain level. Once you reach the neutrality and you're in your higher consciousness, it actually dissolves things like AI and black goo and the dark technology, because it overrides it. So I just want to add that. What are your thoughts, Sharnael?
Yeah, I think that for me, it has. I'm definitely feeling it. But when people started posting about all this stuff again, I literally wanted to throw up, eye roll. It's just ridiculous at this point. But I mean, I've been kind of over it for like a long time. So whenever they say, "Oh, this is going to happen now, this is going to happen," I just kind of go like, "Yeah, yeah, nothing's going to happen." So the key is, for us to be the ones. We're the ones. We've been saying that for 3 years. Mm-hmm. It's not anyone else. Just like Craig said, it's us. And the battle or whatever is within us. And so if we continue to work on us on the inside and do whatever we need to do to work on us and not try to even fix other people or make other people do what they're supposed to do, but just, this is what I'm doing. If you like it, great. Not if it works for you, great. Not, it's like maybe people need to part ways, or people, whatever those boundaries are. It's like, this is the way it is. If you like it, great. If you don't. But all of this like fear and Facebook was just flooded with all of this. Oh my God. And people were sending me all these messages. What do we do to prepare and all that? I'm like, nothing, because nothing's going to happen, so I don't know. I think there's still a lot of misinformation, obviously, and there's people who still believe it. And that's really sad to me, because it's like, you could spend the same amount of time in God, in yourself, meditating, going outside in nature and hearing that information as you can hooking into and getting baited into this other vibration that Laura was talking about, to kind of like get caught up in the fear. And, there's people who are like sleepless nights over this shit. And I'm like, come on, y'all, calm down.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, eclipse season always means a big like leap or, major events that can change our world. I mean, there's always things that are changing our world, right? So, I mean, why would this be, significant? Why are eclipses so significant? Well, the energy lasts for about 6 months, right? So we got the new moon Libra on the 14th, and then October 28th to 29th, we have the full moon in Taurus, lunar eclipse. So that window, is a huge opportunity to really, do that work. The I am creator self is very, very powerful. It's our warrior energy. It's our willpower. It's our determination to just see things through and take action and be sort of a leader in our own life, lead by example. Like what steps do we need to take to get out of these loops or these reactionary things to things that are external? I mean, it's just constantly coming at us. So we want to create from the inside out rather than the outside in. And we can shield ourselves. There's ways to counteract frequencies with sound healing, with nature, with, I mean, we have everything at our disposal. So there's really no reason. It just seems like it's just trying to, you know, poke at us more as a catalyst. Like, how much more are we going to take? I mean, and to me, with the Libra South Node, I look at it like, what is our relationship to creation? Are we still in a dependency bond with the false matrix? Are we still answering to it? Because we haven't cut the cords if we're still reacting to it. Just like if we were reacting to an X, aren't we like done? Isn't that why they're an X? If we're really moving on from the matrix, we shouldn't have any reaction to it, because that would mean that there's still energetic cords and it can still get in our system. It can get into our space. And we don't need to allow that, because we're in relationship with true organic creation and the organic ascension timeline. So to be determined that we're on that trajectory is to be in a certain level of levity and neutrality. I mean, some say that the activation is going to happen and it's going to take days. And it's like, what are we just looking at our neighbors and our family, you know, who got the jab, waiting for them to turn into zombies with our guns cocked? I mean, it's just, there's been so much predictive programming, and I've definitely seen a lot of zombie apocalypse movies. But I think that the frequency or the collective conscience of the planet holds enough awakened individuals to dispel or break down the potential of these things manifesting, even if people aren't fully awakened. I feel if you're in a love vibration, regardless of your choices, and you find, you know, acceptance or you're correcting what might have been an error in judgment, that's a frequency, right? I feel like we can override and overcome anything. And I'm not into the fear of the jab either. Even if I decide not to get it, I don't want to hold that fear for others, or else we're almost helping enforce something that we don't need to, you know, believe in. Everything is about the creative imagination and how that's targeted with just different psyops and narratives. And when that vital creative imagination is hooked into something, we become an enabler of that very energy. So I love what you guys are sharing, and we need to just keep our energies above the turbulence of the madness of this inverted system that we don't have to be in relationship with. Even if we show up and have to pay bills and do this or that, we're finding our way kind of out of all of that, becoming more resourceful, not coming from a survival fear energy, coming from empowerment, because that survival energy they want to throw us all into as well, which you can't really create very effectively from, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. So for me, I mean, we've spoken, like you said, Sharnael, we've been going through this for, well, 3.5 years now, you know, since 2020. There's been, it's just one thing after another, after another, after another, collectively and individually for many people. I guess my sort of question is, at some point, this has got to break. At some point, we've got to get to a point where we're not going through stuff anymore. You know what I mean? I mean, do we see anything in the future coming, or is it just a case of just roll with the process? I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Because again, a lot of people are going through stuff, you know, the collective madness and the political situation and everything that's going on. It just seems it's got to come to a head at some point. It's insane. It's literally insane what's going on. You know, and again, this is why I'm just like, come on, we need to come to some sort of light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak, for everyone. You know, can you see that at all, or is it just a case of just keep going?
I mean, I think it's just a matter of time. I feel so much has already been put out there, and are people gravitating to it? Are they taking it seriously? You know, if people accept censorship and accept that, you know, a lot of what people have been sharing for a really long time is not worth their while, or it's just, you know, just woo woo or conspiracy theory, or whether, you know, I mean, it's all out there. I mean, and it's all within to access. So, I mean, but seeing on the world stage, like, you know, something greater than just the constant assaults and the constant circus. I mean, I feel is already happening. It's just we don't hear about it. I mean, millions of people show up for a protest in London, and nobody really knows that. If they're watching the news, they only hear, you know, a couple thousand showed up. I mean, they just want to cover up all the amazing breakthroughs and how much people are, you know, standing up. So I think the alarm bell needs to ring a little bit more for the more unconscious. I mean, I think it's enough that doctors that have shown a warning and that have spoken out, that have been very courageous, the fact that they're losing their lives or losing their platforms. I mean, when is enough for individuals that normally wouldn't maybe gravitate towards being able to see through the games being played and the attack and the spearing of very legitimate people? I mean, if that's not enough, you know, are those individuals ever really going to come around? It just seems like it's been enough already. And I think a lot of people are way more ahead than what they'll express. I think there's a bit of a resistance to admit, and because it'll change their lives. Are they ready for that? And I think that these initiatory planets, if you're sitting still and you're not making the changes you need to make, sometimes the changes are going to be made for you. And you might interpret that as a misfortune, or I lost my job, or like this relationship ended. But, you know, if you're not going to take the initiative to get out of something that's not right for you, your higher self might intervene and manifest a crisis so that you move on. You might take years to catch up with that crisis and see the blessing it truly is when you recognize how much you don't need it, or you don't need to depend on it. People got to like fall back on that survival energy and be more empowered to be like, okay, I can create fresh, I can regenerate, I can hold an intent, I can be resourceful, I can find like-minded people, I can reach out for assistance. You know, I think it's just so many are on the verge of either making those changes for themselves or having those changes made for them. And if they resist it, I think that is going to be a cause for unwellness and illness and the lack of immune system functioning, because our immune system is connected with faith and purpose and passion, right? I mean, we know that, you know, we bounce back from all sorts of things, you know, by the sheer willpower of you know, our being, you know, answering to our intuition and what our body needs and wants, and how to support the immune system, right? So if something is compromising that, what are the beliefs that are contributing to it? Because if everything's about frequency and we can change our perspective and rebuild that part of ourself, you know, these bioweapons only serve to hinder the process, but they can't destroy it. They can only place something in the way of that individual having faith in their capacity to rise above. That's why they look outside of themselves constantly. So if what they're finding outside of themselves is problem, reaction, solution, is giving them a false sense of security, you know, that's still not going to be what the body wants to thrive in. The body thrives in truth and wisdom and love and unity and all these things that the body's like, thank you, thank you. That is the natural vibration of everything coming into harmony within. And anything else, you know, is just a frequency manipulation, or, you know, it goes in tandem with the psyops and the false flags. You know, they don't just do the bioweapons. They need people to buy into everything coming at us from outside of us for the weapons to even work. So once you break through that, you have a certain level of immunity that anybody, you know, can reach. I mean, we've all been exposed. We've been breathing in the chemtrails. We've been eating foods that have been tainted, even if it says organic. We've dealt with spike proteins and people shedding, you know, but at the end of the day, we have to keep doing the inner work and rising above the energy that wants to drop us, and shutting off all that's external, I think, is key. And I know I'm kind of being redundant, but I feel like there's nothing that we can't overcome, because the only energies that AI can assimilate into are things that vibrate below what we see in the Hawkins scale of courage. Anything below that is very easily assimilated because you can't really think in those lower energies. You can't think clearly. So something else is thinking for you, and your body's not going to thrive in that.
I had a situation where somebody quit on me this week after 6 years working with me, and totally out of the blue, didn't have a clue that it was going to happen. There was zero conversation about why. Literally, she came over to my house, left everything that was mine because she was virtual, but she came over to my house. I'm at home, leaves a note, and basically said something really weird. But I had no idea, and it like hurt my feelings at first. You know, when you were talking about the whole sometimes things are done for you. I didn't see it coming, and I didn't know why, and she didn't explain why, and she still hasn't explained why. And this is on the cusp of just finding out that the other person working for me for the last 6 months had been embezzling for 6 months. So, but when I did backwards speech on both of the situations, it revealed, you know what was really going on. And so I was just like, okay. And then I went over to my mom's, and I was literally in my car with the window down, talking to my daughter, telling her what just happened, because I was just like, what the hell? You know, like, this is a lot in a minute. And then, you know, I've had 2 different calls as well that were kind of like 2 people going to hospice. I just sat there and just tried to catch my breath for a minute. But literally, I had this thing that happened with leaves, and I'm going to talk with trees, and I'll talk about it. Someone keeps putting it in the comments. But leaves came through the window and landed on my lap. And I just saw like leave. I saw the word leave. And I thought like it was a confirmation, like it's okay that they left. Like it's fine. Like, so there's, you know, tools too that we can tap into with nature, with reverse speech, with the subconscious, with meditation, where we can actually, you know, gain a little bit understanding and or at least acceptance or surrender of some things that maybe be have been done for us that are hard to understand, that are like, okay, well, was something said? Was something misunderstood? Was, you know, did I say something? You know, it's like, I just don't understand. I'm going to say it, pussy ass people who can't effing knock on the door while I'm home and actually have a conversation like grown-ups. Like, these are like not 11th graders. These are like 60 and 70-year-old grown-ass people who have either stolen from me thousands of dollars and or just up and quit without a effing conversation. Like, I don't understand why people can't just talk anymore. But, you know, so that's a little bit aggravating. And I don't know if that's blaming on effing Pluto or retrograde or zombie apocalypse, but it seems to be a lot more of that going on too. So that's fun. Just saying it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, if it's not a frequency match, and you know, if people are out of integrity, you live in such high integrity, you're transparent, you're honest. I mean, anybody who can't hold that within themselves is not going to last in your life. But you know, the fact that they're not choosing like respect and love, and I mean, that's too bad. And this is just, I mean, it just seems like the Great Awakening is simple kindergarten, like, you know, just get along, like share, like be kind to your fellow human. I mean, why something like that is so difficult for people. I mean, I look at the amazing things that humans are capable of doing. I mean, look at the buildings and the architecture and the way that society just kind of runs, even though it's not fully in harmony with nature. It's just, you know, humans have a lot of skills and talents, but the one place that they're lacking, which seems to be easy enough, is just basic, you know, human decency and respect. I mean, I don't know why anybody thinks that it's wise on a soul level or on a spiritual level, if you're spiritual at all, that your soul is going to thrive if you're not in integrity, or if you're stealing, if you're robbing. I mean, who are you trying to fool? You know, you can't hide from
karma,
greater cosmic and natural laws. Yeah, the way the universe works. This seems to be a lower density that gets away with a lot without there seeming to be backlash, you know, because of the dark technologies, because of false light, because of, you know, maintaining the world of appearances. But that's going to expire. And to me, when we cross the threshold into the 5D, you got to clear that stuff. You got to correct that stuff, or you're not really heading anywhere. You're just going to keep looping in the negative patterning, and you can lie to yourself all you want, but it's going to catch up. So I'm sorry to hear that, but it's a blessing, I bet. Just to
yeah, I mean, what I heard was anything not built on truth, love, and integrity will crumble. And including my own participation of hiring someone less than.
It's my werewolf. Just 1 second. It's my doorbell.
Oh.
Yes, including anyone that I would participate with that isn't, you know, to the standard of integrity that is available. But yeah, so I appreciate that. And also it doesn't make it any less painful when you love these people and you trust them and you think they're working for you and with you for a cause, because I, as you two are, I'm very cause driven, and integrity is my entire life and platform and truth and being honest. And we give away a lot. And you know, I thank you the members here who help us, support us for production and things like that, or we wouldn't be able to do that. Or, you know, when people do live support by giving or whatever, all of those things really, really add up. And I just feel like it's going to have to come back around somewhere. The you know, whatever was quote lost will come find a way back to me some way, some form. And I just have to be okay with that. But still, the human side of it is like my heart, because, you know, I love these people.
Aw.
But
well, that love is also probably very forgiving, you know, once they can be just accountable. I mean, it's easy, you know, to forgive as long as there's, you know, correction or acknowledgement. I mean, and the thing is, it's like, it causes hurt. You know, you can be neutral, you can find that neutrality, but you got to feel it to heal it. You know, neutrality doesn't mean, oh, you know, there's no emotion anymore. I feel it's just sort of a place to retreat to take a break and just be like, okay, you know, but being hurt is being hurt. And it's hard just to be like, oh yeah, well, whatever. I mean, when you love somebody, when you invest in a relationship, when you form agreements and it has to do with being of service to humanity and doing mission work, there's no room for any of this kind of stuff. There's no room anyway in life. And I just think, yeah, some things we have to feel to heal, but yeah, the sooner we can process through it and release, because we're elemental, right? I mean, it wouldn't rain if clouds didn't fill with water and need release. There wouldn't be volcanoes that blow. There wouldn't be, you know, waterfalls with, you know, a huge force of, I mean, we're elemental beings, I think, always seeking to maintain, you know, balance, but there is sort of the chaoticness and the order that returns after something somewhat chaotic takes place. We have a strong capacity to return to some level of equilibrium and neutrality so that we can move forward. I find when I'm looping too much, and I have with heartbreak or like exes and stuff, I'm like, whoa, I've way crossed the expiration date on mourning this person. Why in the F am I still letting this person get to me? And I realize, yeah, it's just a betrayal. It's just like, why? What did I, you know, like turning the sword on myself? What in the F did I do to attract this? And sometimes it's not about the law of attraction. Sometimes it's just, I need to take a step up and be more discerning and not just fall for or fall prey to the good in somebody when they're not willing to fully step into it. So therefore, some partners or friendships or relationships or collaborations are going to have to, you know, handle a little bit of interrogation or a little bit of vetting or a little bit of like getting reassured, because you know, these things can become traumatic. Like it's hard to want to trust again. Unfortunately, having good friends like you, I don't have to think about that with you guys. But like when new people come in, it's sort of like, I mean, poor Kevin, I didn't accept his love right away without interrogating him. Are you sure you're not CIA? Poor guy. But you know, the ones that count will understand that. and they care about your heart. So, you know what I mean? No, it's like, you know, when the return to neutrality isn't so easy, and it's just so easy to carry, you know, just the wound, but however long it takes, I guess. I mean, I just know that's taken a little bit longer than I would have liked with some people, but I'm a little lighter about it now. But
well, somebody, I think she was called Brandy, just commented at the bottom, and that really struck a chord with me, that as you are growing and your sort of frequency, vibration, whatever is rising, that will force people who don't match that frequency away. So in that respect, you can look at it as a positive, that you are actually growing, and you know, you are heading in the right direction. And there are people, and there's no judgment. You know, some people don't choose to go that way, and will naturally just kind of fall away. I mean, I've experienced it loads of times with, you know, people are considered good friends, and you know, all of a sudden, and sometimes it can be not very nice. Other times it just happens naturally and organically. They just kind of don't associate anymore because you're not heading in the right direction. And I've learned it is what it is, you know, and be fluid about it. And you know, obviously at times it can hurt. Obviously, you know, you miss people and things like that. But I just think, and again, I've said it numerous times, for every person that kind of that's happened, I've met more people on the level that I'm moving into, if that makes sense.
Oh, totally.
So I don't know. I think in that respect, it's something to actually be encouraged about, as not nice as it is at the time. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that in really, because I think what that lady said was bob on in the comments.
Right. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, you know, we can only really control ourselves. I know that's such a cliche term, but if, as long as, you know, I'm living up to integrity and living my truth, and, you know, being a loving person, then that's all that matters. And those that fall away, and that's fine. Yeah, it's just weird. It's like, and this is part of the frequency manipulation, you know, people's unresolved wounds, people's insecurities, sometimes is masked with, you know, very strong personality that, you know, doesn't want to be vulnerable, doesn't want to admit, you know, okay, I'm triggered. I need to heal this. And they'd rather twist events in their favor to just avoid that, being able to admit to that. Yeah. It's like, I had an ex that hacked all my emails. I'm like, if you're insecure, you think I'm not faithful, why don't you just come to me? Like, why would you do this behind my back? Like, that's messed up. That's sick. That's not right. You know? And then he's like, well, you know, after hacking your emails, I realized that you are a very loyal person. I'm like, you know, can't you just take the risk? And just, I mean, you know, it's just such a violation. And, you know, you want to feel sorry for the person and be like, okay, well, you're wounded, but, you know, it's hard, you know, if we're going to admit to our wounds, if we're going to be transparent, if we're willing to do the inner work and be raw or honest when those triggers come up, you would hope that you get the same in return. But some people just aren't ready for that. Some people aren't ready to awaken. There's all different levels of awakening too. Yeah, you can know that there's a deep state and cabal, you know, but are you really awake spiritually? Are you conscious? Are you mindful? Are you moving past negative patterning? Are you showing up, you know, the best of yourself for the sake of others? Because that to me is truly service to others, is, you know, being a safe and honest, loving, you know, person of integrity. We owe that to ourselves and each other. That to me is more important than anything.
Well, yeah. And hey, Victoria, thank you for your gift. That helps us a lot. And all the members, sorry to interrupt there, but what my thing is, I think it's almost like a program right now for all of this, just like cutting people off, ghosting people, you know, for self-care kind of stuff. It's like anything is triggered now at this point. It's like, if anyone barely triggers, they're just like, oh, bye, we're out, and not going to explain anything. Where I was taught, like, my sister and I are 4 years apart. We didn't always get along. But if we didn't get along with each other, my parents sat us down and they said, okay, you know what? You're not leaving the room until you like talk to each other at least. We didn't have to be best friends and go everywhere together and all of that, but we had to have a conversation. We were always taught, like, you have a conversation, you work it out, you talk, you explain. And it doesn't mean you have to stay together. Like I said, like with that person or with any of the people that you guys have been talking about, Craig, I know who you're talking about. It's like, you know, just like, hey, I just want to let you know I'm taking some time off, or hey, this isn't working for me, or hey, I don't want to work for you anymore because this is going on, or, you know, a little bit of conversation. If to me, if there's value in the relationship at all, there'd be some sort of conversation. But with all of this, like, literally people are triumphed and given trophies for walking out on stuff with no explanation. It's just like, people quit jobs, people quit friends, people quit families with zero conversation, and someone had told me, well, maybe they just thought you would be confrontational. It's like, you know, I might say what I feel, and I should be allowed to. I'm not going to be confrontational, but I'm going to have a discussion. I'm going to try and find out what's going on, try to understand. And I think that a key to just keeping and maintaining your own integrity is having those hard conversations and being courageous enough to sit down and, you know, have a coffee with someone to explain, or pick up the phone call and have a conversation. You know, it's like,
absolutely, there's got to be some kind of closure.
There's no growth if people can't find out what happened.
I know it's very awkward, and the imagination runs wild, and it can be just an energy zapper, you know, as much as one might try not to, you know, because you care, and it's nice to have closure. It's nice to have an honest conversation. And sometimes one finds that, oh my God, that was a misunderstanding. That was just a misunderstanding. I mean, the amount of people that said, I can't believe you blocked me, I don't know what I did. I'm like, no, this is good. My whole Facebook got shut down. I didn't block you. Because, you know, they're like, oh, like hurt. Like, I don't know what I did or what I said. I'm like, I lost my Facebook. So then it's like, there was not even a problem here. So this person's holding on to like me potentially just cutting them off. Because I think people are very traumatized by those that do that. But you can't really put out an announcement until you rebuild your channel and say, hey, but you know, those people might not even be there. The amount of people that thought I blocked them are such a simple misunderstanding. So why not give it the opportunity to see if there was, you know, a misunderstanding instead of write somebody off? I mean, that's the beauty of communication, and no relationship can thrive without it. And Mercury's the magician. When you air things, you know, it's like, we don't want to internalize that energy, and afraid of the reaction. Well, the silence, I think, is something that, yeah, I mean, we could keep going. I just totally relate. I'd rather, yeah, I mean, I've needed to take a break when I've been triggered, and I just say, look, I know something's coming up. It probably has nothing to do with you, but it's reminding me of something. I need to just like find my space again. And I just need a little bit of time off. And because I'm a little concerned that maybe you're coming from this place, can I just get some clarity? You know, because I might have heard you wrong, because I have some association with this. I mean, look how much they've leveraged a lot of these movements on social media. I mean, and the thing is, I feel it's because Chiron, the wounded healer, rules the 13th sign of Fiacus, connected to the ether, the great purifying element that helps us to heal our inner elementals, earth, air, fire, water. It's like the ether, the unconditional love of the mother, the breath of life. But it's ruled by Chiron, the wounded healer. So for us to heal, we have to come to terms with where we've been wounded. And we're all wounded to a certain degree. We've been born into a gaping wound that needs to be stitched up with unity and integration and polarity, because the duality is, you know, pitting against each other, something that is meant to thrive in oneness, diversity, and harmony, you know, where our differences are a blessing, not anything to, it's just all been so weaponized. It's like, you'd think, yeah, it'd be a little bit more clear and obvious, but I think it takes a while for people to catch up, because there's so much emphasis on that Chiron energy with the 13th sign. It's like, if there's going to be purification, you got to know what needs to be released in order to make room for your divinity to blossom. So anyway, that's kind of my theory, is why everybody's so easily triggered and hurt over, you know, everything. It's like, this is a huge opportunity. You know, we can handle it from a place of maturity or complete and total childishness, and totally fit. It's like, come on.
100%. You nailed it with the maturity thing. To me, it's a lack of integrity, a lack of courage, and a lack of maturation. And like I said, I get it if you're in 10th grade, but come on, most everybody here is adults. And so if you guys are watching out there, I encourage you guys to sit down and talk to yourself, to your friends, to your people, to whoever, and let people know what's going on and how you're feeling, because that's how you grow. You grow, you get feedback. Even if it's feedback you don't want to hear, at least if I hear something about myself that I don't like, I'm going to weigh it out and go, okay, do I need to change this? Maybe it's bullshit. Maybe I don't need to change anything. But I guarantee you I probably do need to change. You know what I mean? So, but if you don't tell me, I don't know. And that's the thing that's like crazy. And I'm not just seeing it with me, I'm seeing it with multiple people, lots of different things. And I know you guys are seeing it too. And it's just, there's so much weird stuff going on right now. It's just kooky.
I know. So, I mean, and I feel like, you know, this is the threshold. I mean, this is the breakthrough point for most humans is, you know, that is courage, you know, just be courageous. Living your truth is living your truth. And that frequency the body thrives in, you know, it doesn't thrive when it internalizes it or it masks it or it's embarrassed by it. It's like, there's no shame in it. It's worse to pretend you're somebody you're not, or to, you know, try and hide from it, because super intuitive people are going to kind of see through it, or they're going to, you know, whatever. So, I mean, what is health and wellness? That's what's interesting about medical astrology. It's like most health issues, you know, start with, you know, an energy or a behavior pattern or a belief system that's either been passed down, it's become unconscious, that we get to unravel through getting to know ourselves better in the face of it than constantly externalizing it, carrying around labels and dysfunctions when they're really opportunities for incredible growth. So it can be an ascension symptom or it can be a disease. It depends on our perspective. If we're allowing it to be something that helps us to grow, yes, because we're ascending, all of it leads towards that. But if we're not, and we're in the belief something's terribly wrong, you know, well, it's only going to be wrong as long as you're not getting to know it and giving it unconditional love and life, versus having somebody else solve it for you. You're not in charge of yourself anymore. I mean, I believe that there's so many well-intentioned, incredible doctors, like, but you know, it needs to be a co-creative thing. That's why, to me, like, you're the ultimate, you know, Dr. Lucky. I mean, these are like the true,
Oh my God, I know.
You know, doctors that treat the whole person, that, you know, are holistic, you know, the naturopathic stuff. So that's why I love, you know, talking to you. I love talking to both of you. It's like, what an incredible team you two are.
Yeah, we just did a conference last weekend, Dr. Lucky and I. It was so freaking amazing. He's one of the reasons I became a doctor. And for those of you who are members, if you are a member with us, I actually uploaded the conference on the member site. So if you're not a member, you don't even have to pay for the conference. The conference was whatever, $40 or something. But if you sign up to be a member with us, we have a lot of extra content that we give, and we give giveaways, we have member meetings and all that. But if you're interested in getting information on that conference, all you got to do is sign up and be a member, and you can have access to that conference. So
that's amazing.
But yeah, I know he was on your show, and he does things like so out the box. Like, there isn't a box. There's like no box.
Amazing. That was my favorite interview, I swear.
Awesome.
It's somebody that I've never met before. I mean, obviously, like, you know.
Yeah. What do you think, Craig? What's going on in your head?
Oh, a lot. Just trying to catch up, actually. Yeah, no, just agreeing with you both. I mean, emotional maturity is a huge one. I mean, particularly with all the chaos and the stuff that's going on internally and externally, and sometimes, you know, just being honest, we have to accept that sometimes we can be the problem. Sometimes it's me, so, you know, and having the humility and the self-awareness to kind of step alongside yourself and have a look in and go, you know what, I could be the problem here. And being honest about it, and that can heal a lot of relationships. If you can go to a person and say, look, I've messed up here, I can see it's me, you know, I can sort it in an instant. Now, if you assess and you genuinely don't think it's you, or, you know, you can't see anything, that's when we need the emotional maturity to have the conversation. And like you said, be adults. And, you know, just always have our love turned on for each other, and acceptance. And you know, even if you do part ways, it doesn't have to be nasty. It doesn't have to be bad. Just
well.
Absolutely, just shake hands and be like, thank you for your time. Let's move on. You know,
Totally.
It's that easy. I say it's easy, but for some people, it's just not, is it? But yeah, for me, emotional maturity. Yeah.
Totally. Oh, sorry. Yeah. I'm just so agreeing, you know, and there's an art to it, you know. It's like our words can heal and uplift and activate, or they can injure and harm. I mean, there's so much power in the choices we make with the words that we speak. Right. And to master that part of ourselves, I think is key to manifesting a beautiful life. You know, we can get in the way of ourselves. We can burn bridges. We can harm people. We can allow ourselves to be harmed. And it's just a simple growth and maturity, and you'll feel so good. You'll sleep well at night. You'll honor yourself. You know, it's the best gift we can give ourselves and each other, honestly. So I'm so glad we are talking about that, because and
it will calm your nervous. You know, your body will rest. You will be in a state of rest when you do these things, which is what we all need right now. You know, just to be, you know, your nervous system settled, and when your nervous system is settled, you will just manifest health and well-being, and all from these little simple, and you know, they're not necessarily easy, but they are simple little things that we can do, just to have, like you say, personal integrity, a love for yourself and a love for others. It's just an all-round thing. That's the way I see it.
Totally beautiful.
Okay, Craig. Well, I know you got to go, Laura. How can people find you?
I'm on cosmicguide.org. I do Zoom calls. I do mini readings. I also do, like, if you have an urgency, you can text me the question and I'll send you a voice text if I can't take the call for any urgencies that come up. I do discounted sessions also for subscribers. And it helps me to continue doing interviews and putting together PowerPoints and everything like that. So cosmicguide.org, you can find everything.
And you have announced, and we can say this publicly now because it has been on, that you are going to be at the Journey to Truth conference next May, I believe.
Yep.
As a speaker.
That's right.
Amazing. Fantastic.
Yep. And some events coming up: Disclosure Fest, Zen Awakening, and I think I'm going to Istanbul, Turkey for some peace talks, which is kind of crazy.
Peace talks?
Yeah, I'll tell you more about it off air, both of you, because it's not confirmed yet, but definitely would like your thoughts on it. Because some of the people that are going to be there. But anyway, I'd love being on your show. I'd love to have you guys on, and I love being with you. So thank you for having me today.
Yes. And tell them about your book too, because that's coming out. Right. Don't forget.
All right. Awakening the Truth Frequency. And it's very much about all of this. What does it mean to live your truth? And some of the things that I found out along the way that are busting down some of the false narratives. But it's more, you know, take what resonates and leave the rest. It's just compiling it all, and it's for the reader to discern, but just kind of putting it all out there and what resonates with me, but encouraging everybody, you know, live your truth. That's the most important thing. And I go pretty in depth into galactic history and DNA and all that kind of stuff. So that'll be out in March. So you can pre-order on Amazon if you like.
Excellent.
Awesome. All right. Where can we find you, Craig?
So I'm on Facebook as usual. Actually, I've not announced this yet, but I have just pre-recorded another show for my Rumble channel with Truth Seeker. So catch my Rumble channel in a band Nth Ascension. I have a meditation channel on YouTube, Craig W. Ascension Meditation. Yeah, just find me on all those things. Thank you.
Awesome. And again, you guys can go to drsharnael.com. You can go to swiftfire.org. All the classes, all the shows, blogs, some great products for grounding, young and living oils, all kinds of things on there. So
my last oil I bought was grounding.
Was it?
Oil. Oh, it's brilliant. Love it. Yeah.
I love that one. And I just want to say thank you too to Debbie and Lisa and Victoria and some of the others who help support us even on this show today. Mystical Moments is also a member. We have several members here. You know, without you guys, believe me, I am not kidding you, we wouldn't do this. I swear to God.
Yeah.
Because we just wouldn't.
Right. Even my subscribers, if I didn't have my subscribers, I wouldn't be able to do it.
We need your support for production costs and just being the time involved to do this when we could be making money working, doing other things. So definitely support Laura and what she's doing. Go to Craig's channel. If you could be a member with us, that would be great to help support this channel. Next week, we have David Oates coming back for Reverse Speech 2. Really excited about having him. He's also going to be on our members meeting October 22nd. So you guys can be able to do a meta walk. We're going to do a global meta walk. This is going to be freaking amazing. Only $4.99 a month to be a member. But also the following week, we have Tyler and Aaron coming on to talk about their documentary. And then we also have Taylor Remington on to talk about consciousness. So we have a full packed month this month. Anything you guys can do to contribute and help, we just adore you. Even for just showing up in your presence and your beautiful comments. You guys are amazing. I am sending all of you good vibes. We are all collectively praying for each other and just helping us to stay on this side of the dirt, girl, people. But hope you have a great week, and we will be in touch with you guys soon. Have a good one.
Bye.
All right. Bye.